Hello everyone, my name is Ramon Sanchez and the project that I developed was a program that uses pre-written data that I found online, which is this a cars.csv file that has many different types of cars, and it tells us all about their specs like the engine size, cylinders, horsepower, gas mileage, type of car it is, sedan, SUVs. So I use this and I use my knowledge of data structures and algorithms to make it perform some pretty cool functions. So yeah, so let's dive in, and I download this data into a Java project, which is this. And so here is that data after downloaded it. And then so after this we have to make a class where we have to initiate and declare our variables, our constructors, our getters and setters, and a toString method so it could be ready to use. So after this, we make another test class which is gonna be our main class right here. And I use this data structure array list because in an array list we could do many cool stuff as opposed to a regular array. In a regular array, we have to initialize the size of that array, but in an array list, we don't have to do that. We could just keep adding and adding into that array list. So yes, so jumping into this main method to read in the file, we use usual copy paste code that we've used before, and then just editing the the input right here. Let's say strings, we just use the field 0. If they're integers, we have to use integer dot parse int. If they're doubles, double parse double, and so on and so forth. So some of the functions that I did, the features that this program does, was I made a function that returns the number of cars that have a specific cylinder size that we choose, and we could use a 4 cylinder, 6 cylinder, 8 cylinder, whatever we want, and the program is going to tell us how many cars in the file have the specific cylinder size that we chose. So I chose a 6 cylinder, and here is that function, public static int, because tells us the number of cars that have that cylinder size. So yes, the way I did this was, and then int cylinders and the parameters, because that's what we're gonna choose. We could use a 6, 8, 4 cylinder, as I said before. Int count variable, because this is our count, that the number of cars that there is. So I used a for loop that's gonna iterate through the whole file. And then if this if statement, if the cylinders that I specified right here matches the cylinders in the program, in the file, I'm sorry, then the increment counts. And after this, it's just gonna return the count of that cylinder. So then after this, I use another cool feature was an average price for the type of car, yes, like the SUV, sedan, sports, and right here I listed it as a sedan. So the average price of the car in that particular class, like a sedan, the average price for that specific car. So yeah, I used another for loop, and then I used and the last feature that I used, the last function that I did, was a linear search. Let's just say we want to know the specs of a car really fast. So yeah, so then we just specify what car we want to look for. As I said right here, I chose the Acura NSX S model, and this function is just gonna right away tell us all the specs about that car. So yeah, so then running this, we see that the number of cars that have 6 cylinders are 179. The average price for a sedan is 29,756, and so on. And the specs for this car, which the car I chose was an Acura NSX, and this are the specs that it told us, which is really cool. And then after this, so yeah, so any change that I would do was maybe make instead of linear search, I would do binary search. And what the future holds for this program is I could really make a really cool app about cars. And yes, thank you.